So in this video, we're going to talk about how to stop being awkward when meeting and talking to beautiful women. So do you have the problem of walking up to women and then having them look at you funny after you say hi to them, tell them you like them? Do you have that problem of just feeling awkward in your body when you talk to women and you don't like it? Are you trying to figure out all the right things to say and then it just seems to come off awkward when you do it? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in this video, what causes that and how to get past it. Because it's a common problem. I had it myself. It felt really weird when introducing myself to new women. I would stand there awkwardly, look at them awkwardly, and I didn't understand what that was. And I'd try harder and harder and harder to get rid of it, to stop it. And in that, I got more awkward, more weird. And it took me a long time to figure out what was really going on. First thing I want to look at is your emotions. The fact that you're feeling awkward is the biggest problem in itself. And how you feel while you're talking to another person completely affects that other person, especially when you first meet them. Once people get used to you and know you, they kind of expect certain behaviors out of you and they get comfortable with those behaviors. When they're first meeting you, first connecting with you, they're kind of taking you in for the first time. They don't know you. They're figuring out who you are as a person. And the first signals you give off, they're going to associate with you. If you're giving off awkward, it's going to be awkward. So if I feel weird, awkward, strange in my body, uncomfortable, then I'm going to feel awkward to her. If I feel nervous, I'm going to feel nervous to her. If I feel angry, I'm going to feel angry to her. You got to remember that women are highly attuned, especially if they're really feminine women, are highly attuned to feeling emotion. And they're going to respond to your emotions. They're going to respond to what you're feeling. So what is that literally that causes you to feel awkward? And it's basically nervousness. It's your body's response to you doing something that's not normal for you. So what your body's doing, your nervous system, is trying to get you not to do it by making you feel awkward, getting you to say, I'm not going to do that, because your body perceives it as dangerous. When I was a child, I got hurt by letting other people in. My parents were really mean and abusive, so I learned to wall off. And when I go over to a woman and try to let her in, my body shuts down tighter, and my body makes me feel really uncomfortable because my body doesn't want to let another human being in so I don't get hurt again. And that's what's really going on there. That's one of the reasons. You could also get an anger response that makes her feel awkward. And it's the same thing, reaction formation, your body reacting to a vulnerable situation and trying to shut down again, and then getting angry and making her wrong. She's a bitch. Or making me wrong. I suck, I'm bad. In response to that, rather than facing the true vulnerability underneath, rather than exposing the vulnerability. You see, the only way you heal and get past the awkwardness is by exposing the actual vulnerability. And in exposing the vulnerability and learning to be calm and relaxed as much as humanly possible in the exposure of that vulnerability, embarrassed, ashamed, accepting, a better way to say it is accepting what you feel as you expose it, you start to heal. If you expose the vulnerability and then beat yourself up and make yourself wrong for exposing the vulnerability, you're not going to heal. You're going to actually make it worse. So start to pay attention to what you're feeling. And to get past awkwardness, start simple, start small, start at your level. Some guys can barely talk to a woman. And they go out and learn all these techniques to pick up a girl. They write them all down. And way back in the day when I did it, I wrote down all these lines and routines, carried them in my back pocket, and I'd walk over to the girl and I'd try to say all this stuff, trying to act like Mr. Cool. But all the time underneath, I had all these insecurities, nervousness, self-hate, anger at myself. I didn't like myself much at all. And when I walked up, all that was bubbling under the surface through my subcommunication, through my micro-expressions, through the way I felt about myself. So all of that showed through on my micro-expressions. It showed through in the way I moved, walked, talked, in my vocal tonality. It got really nervous and insecure, even though I was saying all the right words. And that's what caused the awkwardness. That's where the idea of incongruent comes from. My micro-expressions and my subcommunication tell her I don't like myself, or I'm scared, or I'm nervous, or I don't want her to hurt me, please don't hurt me, while my voice, my words, and my attitude and the way I've learned to stand and move are trying to say something else. They don't match. And so to get past the awkwardness, you have to get rid of that incongruence. You have to get rid of that lack of the two matching, and then walk up and approach a woman from that place. So for some of you, it might be just going up and all you can manage to still stay somewhat vulnerable is asking the time. I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm gonna go ask that pretty girl the time, then I go ask her directions, start there. And you start building yourself up till eventually you can walk up and say, you're fucking beautiful. I just had to tell you that. I had to say hi. And you can say that with an open heart, openly, and really believe it and mean it, whether she rejects you or not, because you're indifferent to the outcome. You feel free about the outcome. You're gonna stick to what you believe, even if she rejects you. You're not going to turn around and go into reaction formation, which I talked about earlier, and then make her wrong for rejecting you. You don't know what happened to her that day. You don't know what she's going through. And it's none of your business. Your business is you expressing honestly and authentically what you feel from your most authentic place. For some of you, another technique that you can do to help get past this is to walk up, say hi to a woman, and just be brutally honest. I'm fucking scared. Not, and I'm going to show you the difference. This is very important. Not, I'm scared. I just want to say hi to you. That's very meek. It's very victim-y. Who you're becoming is strong. So I'm still feel the fear. I feel the awkwardness. I feel the place I'm in. And I walk up to her and I say, you know what? You make me really nervous. And I just want to say hi to you really quick because you're beautiful. And you say it with as much confidence while feeling the authentic emotions as possible, big energy. And what that does is it shows your subconscious mind where you want to go while acknowledging where you're at to another human being and letting yourself feel vulnerable. And if you do that enough times, you'll start to build confidence. You'll start to build strength. Now, don't expect that to work for seduction. That's a desensitization technique. That's you going out and experimenting to desensitize and get some of your fear out. And don't expect it not to work. I have seen that work. Matter of fact, I had a friend once that walked up to a woman and she was scaring the living shit out of him. He was nervous. And he walked over to her and he said hi. It was in a Target actually. And he walked up to her and he said, hi, I just wanted to tell you, you're really beautiful. And he was really nervous and being meek and shutting down. And he was shaking because he was just so attracted to her. And she's playing on her cell phone. And she goes, oh, thank you. And she keeps working on her cell phone. And he realized what he was doing. Because this guy's actually good with women, and he was scared of this girl because he found her so attractive. And he caught himself in that moment. And in that moment, he got congruent. And he got big in his energy and opened up. So the key is you got to get congruent, and then you got to open up and express anyways in the face of that congruence. So what he did was he stopped himself. He looked at her. He opened back up, raised his energy, and said, look at you. And she went, what? Because she heard him speak louder, more boldly, look into her, look direct at her, changed his subcommunication in the face of his fear. And he was still shaking, still nervous. And he said, you're beautiful, and you make me nervous. I'm scared. Look, I'm shaking right now. But I had to come say hi to you. He owned it in that moment instead of letting it own him. And in that, he grew, and she got attracted. And she gave him her phone number, and they went out. So I want to point that out. That's the path to growth. You might have to start really small at first and work your way up. And in that, you will grow out of the awkwardness into more confidence, more confidence, more confidence, and more confidence. I highly recommend a journaling process with this so you can track your growth, what you learn from every interaction. I also highly recommend you do 2 to 3 approaches a day and journal all of them until you get to that next level. And for those of you that want to understand the journaling process, it's one of the fastest ways to grow your ability to be good with women. It's a very powerful tool that I've been using with clients with amazing success. Well, I believe we released a video on it last week or the week before. There'll be a link in this video. Just click the link if you want to watch that process, and that will add to your ability to get rid of this awkwardness and grow into the most powerful version of yourself. Because I personally believe that every man has a powerful man in him. Every human being has a powerful human being in him. We're all good at heart, deep, deep, deep down inside. And somehow we get lost through insecurities, through negative beliefs, through self-doubt, through doubt in the world. We start to cover that over. And as you do this type of work, and you start to work on your self-worth, which we also did a video on last week, there's a link to that one. And you start to build on your self-worth. You start to face your incongruence. And you start to become comfortable being insecure, being nervous, being vulnerable, that is, but stepping up to the plate and showing that you're a man inside anyways. You're going to grow into the most powerful version of yourself, a real version that people not only enjoy being around, but want to be around. They want to like. that they connect with, and you'll start giving your gifts, the gifts you came here to give, to the world. So with that said, get out there and start getting rid of your awkwardness today. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. We put out 2, sometimes 3 videos a week, all helping you to become the most powerful man that you can be. Some of them are about confidence, some of them are about dating. But I'm on a mission to help any man that wants to be the best version of himself become that version. I also would love to hear your comments. Your comments are important to me. I want to hear what videos you want to see, what you liked about this video, what you learned from it, your experiences for others to read so they can learn how others are growing, so we can build a community around this. So make sure you comment. And remember, only the confident really live. I'll see you in the next video. It's like that. And that first 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 3 minutes is really important. It could be up to 5 minutes. It's that awkward period, you know? The one where you walk up and they don't know you, you don't know them, and everybody's getting to know each other. Ultimately, seeing and building real confidence. It'll still be a vague concept to you. So let's take a look at this at a deeper level. A woman says all the time that I love confidence, or a guy says just be confident. Like my friends used to say that to me all